Good morning and welcome to Take 5 and Company. It is Monday morning. We are glad that you are joining us today, along with Jennifer Pasqua and Steve Zagman, who I wrangled into doing this with less than 30 minutes before the show. I was like, hey, you want to sit in sometime? How about today? Join us.
Yes, a dude perspective this morning.
We
I
need
like
more
it.
men on the show.
Yeah.
Just saying.
And young men. I don't know if you had anyone.
Young men.
Oh,
Yes.
are you saying that the other men who've sat in the seat are not so
Oh.
young?
Yes.
I'm
Ouch.
going to Ashcroft and telling him he said
Yes.
just to start a mud wrestling fight in the newsroom. Well, it is Monday. Here's a shot from our WZZM 13 tower cam. A little, kind of cloudy out there today.
Yeah.
It was like a weird backwards weekend because according to the forecast, it was supposed to be Saturday. That was supposed to be more nice, more beachy day.
Right.
And then ended up storming. And then Sunday was supposed to be the more stormy day. Ended up being a beautiful beach day.
Gorgeous beach day.
Yeah, couldn't quite figure that one out.
Well, in the morning on Saturday, got to go kayaking at like 10 a.m. It was raining at 10:15. Perfect. Perfect weather
because
for kayaking.
they knew that you were going to go out there. Was that your first time kayaking?
No, the thing was, it was for a story that I did, and it was fantastic.
Where did you go kayaking at?
Just on the Grand River.
Okay.
And it was with a group who were trying to kayak the entire Grand River, and they all had disabilities. Some of them were
very
blind.
cool.
Some of them had bad backs, but they all said that kayaking helped them get over the disability.
Oh, yeah, and very stress-free. Like,
Oh,
we've
yeah.
done that before. It's
Very
just
nice.
So relaxing and mild to
Is
do
that story online?
It should
should
be.
be.
It should be.
Sometimes we say here, like, it should be. In a perfect world, it probably might be.
I wrote the story. I don't know if the story made it to the web.
All right, we'll check it out.
Yes. All right, so it is no secret here, and I know that you guys, especially like getting up and doing the morning things, I am a caffeine fanatic.
Yes, as I.
And our health reporter, Valerie Lego, is always like, you don't drink nearly enough water.
Uh-huh.
Well,
Solution?
yes, Spartan stores have a new product out, and it's called Avite.
Is that how you pronounce it? Okay.
Yep, it is caffeine water.
Can I open
T-balls.
this? Can I
Heck yeah,
take
you
a
can. Go
drink and
ahead.
see if I get all caffeinated
absolutely.
during this?
You've
That
already
one,
been
and
drinking this, it looks like.
That one I may have already drank a little bit, but you can pour some in your cup, or all
I can have your germ.
It
I
just
have
tastes
no
like
germs.
water.
Yeah, that's what's great. And it comes in like 3 different sizes. There's the 45 milligrams, which is half a cup of coffee. There's 90, which is an actual cup of coffee. And that
yeah.
powerhouse you guys are drinking is a cup and a half of coffee.
Whew.
Which
Dangerous.
naturally, I'm going to go right for the
Dangerous.
biggest thing. But it's available at Spartan stores, and I'm super excited because, one, I can make Valerie Lego happy until she's like, you have too much caffeine in your diet now.
Yes. That's the problem when you sit. Steve feels it as well. When you sit next to the health reporter, she
Yes.
watches everything that you do.
Yeah.
We hide suntans. We hide caffeinated. We can't have.
We can't
Red
do
Bull,
anything fun because
around.
of Val.
I know, we're very well behaved. She's just taught us very well.
She
We're very
has.
well
She
behaved.
has.
The health reporter actually tells me that I should get rid of all the 12 empty coffee glasses that I keep on my desk.
Yes.
So that's my problem.
Because she's also minimalist.
Yes.
Her desk
Yes.
is very clean, and when she has to sit between 2 people who are messy, like us,
That's
We
true.
also love you, Valerie Lego, while we're throwing you under the bus a little bit. But she always gives us good advice.
Yeah.
So I feel like this might be.
I think
good
this will be
advice.
great. I love it.
It doesn't taste. I thought
No.
it was going to taste like chemically, when you think
I
about
did too.
caffeine, but it
Yeah.
doesn't.
But it says
tastes like regular
unflavored. I
water.
wonder if they have a flavored.
Val
it
was
out.
telling me that just water in and of itself will keep you awake. You don't necessarily need the
I don't
caffeine.
agree with
I don't
that.
believe you.
Okay.
I don't
No.
believe any of
No.
those words that just came out of your mouth. No. All right, well, first up, it was an exciting weekend of soccer that was out there, some games in the World Cup. But here in the U.S., the big countdown is on it tomorrow night. It's a big knockout round clash between Team USA and Belgium, one of the rising soccer powers in Europe. Time to do or die for the USA team. The Americans who returned to the World Cup after a 40-year absence advanced out of the so-called group of death. I love this terminology, shocking everybody out there. Now they're gearing up to take on a young, hungry, talented Belgian team, one of the 11 founding teams of the FIFA organization, which is made up of players from Europe's top divisions. Belgium won all 3 of their games, each by a score of 1-0. Oh, and they also have one of the world's top goalies on their team. So that game is tomorrow.
Yeah.
Be prepared to call in sick.
And Grand Rapids is having a huge party at Anabwin Park.
Oh,
Did you
like
hear
one of
about
the
this?
outdoor
Yeah.
viewing parties?
They're going to
I
have
love
one
that.
of the big screens, LED screens, so
yeah.
that people can go out there in the USA, do all
It's
that.
funny, they had to rent this LED screen
Oh, they
because
did?
the normal projector just wasn't bright enough
Oh.
for the outdoors
yes,
and the
see
sunny,
that, yeah,
sunny
yeah.
weather. So yeah, I got a message that it's very possible that ZZM is going to be helping.
Oh, I like that. Even
nice.
better,
So
even
then we
better.
can all go and leave the newsroom and do that?
The coach
mean,
did
come
tweet
on.
a letter that all you have to do is print
Yeah.
out, and it's a permission slip to
Wouldn't
be
that be
sick.
funny if we handed
Yeah.
those permission slips in? I don't know if our news director is like that, but we can
Just
try.
hand it in. It's quasi legit.
I have to ask, you pronounced it FIFA?
Yeah.
Is that really right? I always pronounced it FIFA.
I've heard FIFA and FIFA. On ESPN broadcasts, I heard him say FIFA, and then other broadcasts I've heard say FIFA. So it's
like
somewhere in between
potato,
the two.
potato.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. FIFA, 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 FIFA.
Now, did any of you have the chance to watch the Netherlands-Mexico game?
I did
I did
not.
not.
No.
I thought there would be rioting in Holland.
Yes.
Yes, maybe.
No, not so much. All right, well, next, I am currently flabbergasted by this next story. All right, have you heard the story about the lady that they're calling
Yes.
the bad nanny? It's such a weird story. The one about the live-in nanny that won't quit living in. Okay, but there's been some progress, though. The 64-year-old nanny
Really?
is now sleeping in her car.
She's sleeping in her
While
car.
the family she once lived with spent the weekend in meetings with their attorney about when and under what conditions the nanny says that she's going to finally get out.
You
Okay,
think?
so here's the story. The family hired this nanny, Diane Streeton, back in March after she replied to their Craigslist ad seeking a nanny in exchange for room and board. Turns out that may have been their mistake. They say at first she was really good with her 3 kids, but then complained of some health problems. This is a nanny right here.
Okay.
And then started spending all day locked in her room. So the family's like, listen, you're not really watching our kids. So they went in to fire her and asked her to move out 3 weeks ago. Well, when the dad confronted her, she simply smiled at him and shut the door. Here's the rub. This is what went wrong, people. In court, Streeton says she argued that she's not just live-in help, she's a tenant. So she has all the legal protections that come with that. So the eviction process could drag out for a couple weeks, maybe even months, which is crazy. And so hopefully she may be out by the 4th. Now, they wanted it to be out by July 4th, but probably not.
I thought that she ran away again. Wasn't there a story that she ran away, but then she came back again?
She came back because she went out of the house for a little bit,
Okay.
and then like when they first, told, and I
Right.
think when she was gone that time, that's when she got the advice of like,
Oh,
listen,
an
Nice.
attorney.
Guess
Yes.
what? Guess what? Yeah, so
okay.
that's a tricky thing. So it might be a good thing to know that when you bring someone in, like a nanny like that, with room and board,
Yeah.
to really be aware of what your legalese needs to say and who's protected and how they're
Well, if you had
protected.
somebody in your house and you told them to get out and they smiled at you and then shut the door in your face, what would you would do that?
Yeah, you'd be like,
Yeah.
I had a
Yeah.
sibling that wouldn't leave their parents' house.
That might be a kind of different
I think
case.
it's a little different.
I don't think you're going to be taking it. Technically, they might fall into like the thing as a room and board person
Yeah.
too.
Having I had to go to court probably 4 or 5 times. I have a rental house and the tenants wouldn't leave. They wouldn't pay the
That
rent.
seems like a
Yeah.
nightmare. Yeah.
It's an easy process, but even though it takes like a month or so, and it is a pain. So
Yeah.
It
I
is.
understand. Wow, living in the same house.
And that's your house.
That
That's
is your
not even
house,
A rental
yeah.
house. Yeah, that is crazy.
I don't know. I'd start throwing your stuff out the window.
Oh yeah.
But you probably get in trouble that way.
Yeah. See, like then you
See?
start
Yeah, I
crossing
guess,
all those things,
right?
and then you might have somebody in your house even longer.
Yeah, you don't want that.
All right, now to my favorite story of the weekend. Over the years, I've had the chance to sit down with actress Amy Adams, chat with her at events, and I've always found her to be both gracious and kind. This, to me, just proves it even more. Adams, who's been in Detroit for the last couple months shooting the Batman vs. Superman movie, was heading back home to LA on Friday. Naturally, she was booked in a seat in first class, as you'd expect. But what came next was a little unexpected. According to a writer for ESPN.com, who happened to be in the gate area, who's going to be on the same flight, Adams quietly went up to the front desk before she boarded, asked to switch seats with a soldier in uniform, giving him her first class seat, and then going to sit in his back in coach.
Very cool.
A flight attendant informed the soldier of the seat change. She didn't say anything at all, totally was on the DL. Turns out the 5-time Oscar nominee comes from a military family. Her dad was in the service, something that she often speaks of in interviews. And Adams grew up on military bases around the US and Italy. And I love this too, even with like no makeup on.
She's gorgeous.
Sitting back in
Yeah.
coach, she totally was posing for, pictures like with fans and stuff who were a little surprised to
Yeah.
see Amy Adams sitting back in the coach
coach,
session.
right.
But I love that. Like, I love hearing stories. She didn't tell them herself. She did it on the DL.
So classy. And of
Yeah.
course, we got to out her
I
when she
know.
wanted to do
Yeah.
something
Which-
kind of like that.
I wonder if she's done that in every flight, and this is the first time.
I
it's been,
wonder if,
picked
like,
up.
You know
one of
what?
those
Maybe
things.
that's a good, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if she's done in this one. Wouldn't be surprised. If
But
she
you
is
found her to
next.
be very genuine. And
Very nice, yeah, very
yeah.
and she's one, and you can tell like when you do those junkets and you sit in there all day, you can tell the ones that are so over it because they're paid very well to do
Sure,
those things,
sure.
but it is an 8-hour day where you're sitting in a room, you don't leave. It's the reporters that come in and out. You're answering a lot of the same questions
sure.
for 8 hours a day. You know, you have some dummies that walk in, so sometimes you can tell the ones that are like, I'm just here because I'm being paid really well. She is one of those people that you sit down with her, and every single time it's just like it's the first interview of the day.
Nice.
Like very nice. Jennifer Garner is another one that's the same way. Very gracious, listens to what you're saying, remembers your name, and is very good at what she
Very
does.
cool.
So, all right. Well, this next story leads me to believe that I may not live through the end of this chat because new research finds out that watching too much TV could kill you. Yeah, I feel like this story is directly aimed at me. A study found that adults who watch 3 or more hours of TV a day may double their risk of premature death.
Oh, that's not good.
It's not because your TV is emitting supersonic death rays, no need to make an aluminum foil hat, but basically because sitting obviously for hours on end means you're not really moving, which is super bad for your health. So an obvious solution, don't stop watching TV 8 hours a day. Just throw in some jumping jacks and stuff and move around.
During the
and be
commercial
outside.
break? That's what they say you should do, actually.
I've heard
you
of
know?
people that do this too, like they use all the commercial breaks
Yeah.
and then they do as many, like you do, it's like the burst of things.
Right,
like doing like
right.
jumping jacks, push-ups, running in place, all that kind of stuff, doing some arm lifts.
But it's hard to juggle and run in place, and you got popcorn and chips. And,
I know.
you
When you're
all
eating
that
your
good
4th
stuff.
bowl of Doritos.
See, at first, when you said it was all about watching TV, I'm like, great, I don't watch a whole lot of TV. But then it said sitting on the couch. I play video games a
Oh,
lot.
so
I'm
that
pretty
could be
sure
the
that
same
also
thing.
applies.
Yeah.
So again,
Yeah.
you have to pause your video game,
Okay.
put down the Doritos, and then you do some jumping jacks too. You'll be fine.
I think
I
we
like
should
how you
test this out.
Yeah.
And I like how you assume I have Doritos.
Doritos is just my go-to thing.
Okay.
Like it
Yeah.
just works for everything.
You're not
Cheetos.
wrong.
I like the little orange stuff on my fingers.
Oh yeah, the Cheetos, and it's like you get the second dessert later
Yeah.
when you lick all that stuff off. Yeah,
Save it for later.
All right, thank you, Jen.
Yes.
Thank you, Steve Zagman. We'd love to have you sit
Oh,
back in here
that's
again.
awesome.
That was actually
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
fun. All right, let's send it into the control room to associate producer Eddie for a look at what is coming up on today's little program.
Good morning. Coming up today, our box office mom gives us a scoop on this weekend's #1 movie, Transformers 4, that came out from a parent's perspective. Plus, we'll show you exercises to help get that beach body. And before you head off on your summer getaway, see tips to help you navigate the airport with ease.
All right, thanks, Eddie. But first, when we come back, we are going to take a look at some ways that we can all help impact the air quality in our community. Stick around, it's next.